Hi, it's Maya here, and today I'm just going to do a wrap up of the comics I read during the Getting Graphic Readathon, which was hosted by Elena and Caitlin one Saturday. And I read 5 comics, and I'll just go through them now. So the first thing that I finished was Princess Jellyfish Volume 2 by Akiko Higashimura. And this is a story of Tsukimi, who is a jellyfish geek, and she lives in this one house together with a bunch of other geek girls. Like, one of them is into trains, one of them is into kimonos and Japanese dolls. So the series starts when one night Tsukimi meets Kuranosuke, who is this guy who likes to dress up as a girl, and they become friends, but they have to hide the fact that Kuranosuke is a guy, because in the house rules there is that you can't bring a guy to the house. The main plot of the story is that this house in which these geek girls live is under threat of a redevelopment. So there is this redevelopment plan where this company is trying to buy all the houses in their neighborhood and tear them down and build something else in their place. And since this bunch of geek women are 30-somethings with no regular income, they don't really have a job, they live in this house for quite cheap. And if that house was to be sold and torn down, they really wouldn't have another place that they could easily go, and also they would lose this sense of community that they have. So it's about the relationship between these two, about this threat that the house is under, and just the geeky shenanigans that the women get into, and it's really fun and lovely. The only thing that I'm not into in this book is this one storyline that has to do with Kuranosuke's older brother Shu, where this one woman who is part of the redevelopment company wants to gain influence in Shu's family, and it's just really uncomfortable to read. And also, I hope it's not going where it could quite easily go, which is that the woman would become actually romantically interested in Shu and they would end up as a real couple. And I would be having none of that if that happens, so I hope that's not where the storyline will go. But otherwise, these are really fun and lovely and quite touching at times, and I gave this one 4 stars. Then I read more manga. I read the first 2 volumes of Akira by Katsuhiro Otomo, and these are the Finnish editions. I think these 2 volumes are 1 volume in the English editions. And this is a real science fiction classic, and the world and everything that's going on is really intriguing. It's set in a future Tokyo about 30 years after the Third World War. And the main characters are friends called Kaneda and Tetsuo. Kaneda leads this motorcycle gang that Tetsuo is also a part of. And one night they are biking and Tetsuo gets into an accident. So there's this little kid who looks like an old man who's just standing in the middle of the road, and Tetsuo's bike crashes and he gets taken in to a military hospital where the military finds that Tetsuo might have some powers that they might want to use. There's also something called Akira who has been cryogenically frozen, and we are not clearly told what the Akira is yet. And then there's also this rebel faction who wants to find Akira. One member of that is this girl called Kei and this guy called Ryu, and Kaneda gets tangled up with them. Like I said, this is really detailed and really interesting, but one thing about this is that the guys, they're about 15-year-old motorcycle gang members, and they're really annoying. I was just sympathizing so much with Kei and Ryu when they had to deal with Kaneda. They are just these thoughtless teenage boys who like to take drugs and ride around on motorcycles. A girl at Kaneda's school tells him that she's pregnant, and his response is pretty much, "Well, cool, can I come watch while you give birth?" And then ask her for more of the drugs that she's smuggling to him from the doctor's office. So they're like classy people. I have read this whole series before, but I do not remember a lot about it. I sort of hesitantly do recommend it because it is a science fiction classic, but I can tell more when I have read the whole thing. Just know, if you want to start it, that there are some pretty annoying characters in this. I gave these 2 so far about 3 stars. I think they will get a lot better once the main plot starts to really get going. Then I continued with a horror comic series called Harrow County. This is volume 3, Snake Doctor. It is written by Cullen Bunn and the art is by Tyler Crook, but this one has also a couple of guest artists. And this volume is only 4 issues long, and it's sort of this middle volume where the story isn't progressed that much. And the 2 issues that are done by guest artists are sort of these one-off stories. But then there's the 2 issues that are done by the regular artist, and I thought that the story in that brought things along a bit and also gave it some more depth, so I really did enjoy those parts. So the main character of this is Emmy, who learns that she has magical powers and is a descendant of this witch whom her parents and her parents' friends killed before she was born. This is one of the guest artist issues that I thought was perhaps the weakest story-wise. There's also one at the beginning, but I did really love the artwork in the regular artist ones, especially this splash page. There are also some quite cool covers, this one being my favorite, along with the illustration that is at the cover also, which is this one, which is just so beautiful and creepy. I still did end up giving this about 4 stars. I think that's a bit too much since the stories aren't that strong. Perhaps 3.5 would be more along the lines, but I just really loved some of the art, so that's why I gave it 4 stars. And the final thing that I read for Getting Graphic was the Encyclopedia of Early Earth by Isabel Greenberg. This is a story of the storyteller guy who leaves North Pole on his way to the South Pole and the adventures that he has in between. It's set in a make-believe world with make-believe cultures that sort of resemble our historical cultures, and I did find it very enjoyable to read, especially when the storyteller and the people he meets are telling the stories of their cultures. There are also these god characters, the eagle god Birdman and his kids, who get tangled up with the storyteller's journey, sort of making it a game between them. The Encyclopedia of Early Earth was a 3-star read for me. I did find it enjoyable to read, but I wasn't really captured by it. I do have Isabel Greenberg's other work from the library as well, the 100 Nights of Hero, I think it's called, and I've heard great things about that, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also currently reading the 3rd volume of Princess Jellyfish. So far, so good. And I have the 3rd to 5th volumes of Akira out from the library. I don't know if there is more of Harrow County released yet in volumes, but I will keep an eye out for it as well. So I'll be continuing on with all of this series and all of these creators. I did enjoy everything that I read, and I want to thank the hosts for hosting this readathon, and I hope they will do it again. I think they might have already released the dates for the next readathon. I have forgotten, but if you want to check it out, I will leave a link to their Twitter down below. So that's everything that I read for the Getting Graphic readathon. Let me know if you read some of these comics, and if you took part, did you read some great comics yourself? I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series as well as the next readathon. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you later in my next video. Bye!